Hello everybody. In this video, we are going to practice doing composite shapes when we take out a shape and have to find a shaded area. Let me show you what I mean. In this first shape, what you see is we have a square and a circle. So it says, what are the two shapes you recognize? So I'm going to write down a square and a circle. You could write down a rectangle and a circle as well, because technically it's also a rectangle. So step two, let's find the area of each shape. So first, if I want to find the area of the square or the rectangle, I need to do length times width. I need to do 10.5 times 10.5. So let's first go ahead and we'll calculate that. If we did 10.5 times 10.5, we end up with 110.25. Next, let's find the area of the circle. To find the area of the circle, we have to do pi r squared. So I'm going to do pi, which will be 3.14 times the radius squared. Now the radius here, okay, remember the radius goes all the way, halfway across, right? A radius goes halfway across. A diameter goes all the way across. So this 10.5 is the distance all the way across. So that means that 10.5 is my diameter. I'm going to divide that in half, and I'm going to get 5.25, and that's what my radius is. So then I can plug that in. Let me go back and make that a little bigger so I have more room to write. Oops. And we'll say 5.25 squared. All right, and then we'll find the area of that. So let's first go ahead and do that. 5.25 squared gets us a number that we're going to be rounding. And if you get a number like this, we're going to round. We'll always round to the nearest hundredth. And I got 3.14 still, because I haven't done anything yet. And 5.25 squared, I got 27.5625. I'm going to round that to 5.6. And my last step is to multiply 3.14 times 27.56. And I ended up getting 86.5384, so around the 5.4. So I have the area of both my shapes. The last answer says calculate the shaded area. So what we're going to do with both of these numbers is we're going to subtract them. Because it's basically like if I had this square down and I removed the center. If I had 110.25 centimeters squared and I took out 86.54, how much is left? So if we subtract them, we will find our answer. And that's all we're going to be doing here. We'll normally go ahead, we'll find the area of everything, and then depending on the problem, we'll take out the pieces. When I ended up subtracting, I got my final answer. I'm going to write it right here, 23.71, and we're going to say centimeters squared because this was area. And that would be our final answer. So we're going to do this every time. Let's practice another one. So down here, if we scroll down, all right, we have two squares. I have a square inside a square. So I have two squares, I'll just write, two squares. Let's go find the area of each. So first we'll do 5 times 5 for that little one, and I would get 25. Then I'm going to do 15 times 15 for the big one, and I get 225. So the area, those are the area of both right now. Now we want to find the area of the shaded figure. So we're going to subtract that smaller square. We're going to subtract 25 away from our bigger square, that little center piece. So if you subtract them, you end up with your final answer of 200. And all we did there is we subtract them, and we got 200 millimeters squared. And that's what we're going to be doing over and over, finding the area and subtracting it. Let's go to our next one. So this one gives us a little word problem. It says a baker is making donuts. He drew the diagram below. So here you can see his diagram right here, his little donut. Each donut will have a radius of 7 centimeters, and he would like the whole of each donut to have a radius. Oh, it looks like there's a mistake here. Change that out. We're going to say 4 centimeters. calculate the amount of dough needed to make each donut. So once again, we're going to do the same thing. Find the area of both circles, and then we'll just subtract that center white circle. Whatever the area of that center circle is, we're going to subtract it from the problem. So I see 2 circles. So let's find the area of both. And remember, let's do the big one first. That's going to be pi times our radius squared. So the radius goes from the center to the outside or halfway across. So it'll be 7 squared. That means this first one will be 3.14 times 49, which if you multiply that, you get 153.86. Let me just double check my math. I got that again, so I must have done it right. That was my big one. Let's go find the small one. The small one, I'll do pi times its radius. Its radius is 4 squared. So 4 squared is 16. So really it's 3.14 times 16. I'll type that in. And I got 50 and 24 hundredths, or 50.24. So now that I have the area of both, we will subtract, because it's like I have 153.86 at the beginning, and then we just remove that center piece. We're physically ripping it out. So if we go ahead and do that, and we subtract them, we will find our answer at 103.62. And we're going to say centimeters squared. And then we should have one more problem. Let's go ahead and solve. Our last one we'll do together. So this one says, Mr. Jones has a patio in the shape of a trapezoid. The patio has a circular fountain with a diameter of 14. So they haven't showed us that. That's why we read the problem. We need to make sure we go across and say, hey, here's our diameter. Let's mark that down and write 14. So we got a diameter of 14. He was trying to figure out the area of the patio in order to paint the bricks. What is the area of the patio? So once again, we're going to have to go ahead and we're going to have to find the entire area of the trapezoid, but we don't want to paint the fountain, obviously, so we're going to subtract what we need to paint that fountain. So I see 2 shapes. I see a trapezoid. We could abbreviate if you want and write trap, but I'm going to write it all out. Trapezoid, and then I see a circle. So let's go find the area of both. There you go. Looks a little better. So first, let's do the area of the trapezoid. Now, if you remember to find the area of a trapezoid, make sure you use your formula sheet. It's going to be 1/2 times the height. It is 25 tall. Times base 1 and base 2 being added together, the 2 bases. So we'll add together the 2 bases. All right, and now we have a problem we can solve. 12 plus 20, that's going to give us 32. So we're going to have 1/2 times 25 times 32. Let's pick up our calculators and multiply that. And I got 400, an excellent number. Next, let's go ahead and do the circle. So once again, they gave me the diameter. I need the radius, right? I need only halfway across. So if the diameter is 14, the radius is 7. So let's find the circle. That's going to be pi, 3.14, times our radius squared. So that would really be 3.14, and 7 squared is 49. And I believe we just did this one, a similar problem to this a second ago. And I got 153.86. So final step, just like before, we need to subtract those 2 numbers, right? There is a total of 400 if that circle wasn't there, but because it's there, we're going to take it out, and it was 153.86. And what will be left over will just be your answer. So let's go ahead and subtract that. And I got 246 and 14 hundredths. And we will say feet squared. So the big thing we just want you to take away, we're really not adding much new. All you're doing is finding the area of both of these and then subtracting them. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you for watching today's video.